viewers, welcome back to the Southman Auto Channel. So many of you know, if you've been watching the SMA channel for any period of time, the biggest thing we combat in upstate New York in automotive repair is rust. You also know that on my 2013 Toyota Tundra that I personally drive, I've taken it to Crown. I've had it sprayed with the Crown product, the T40 rust proofing. It's been over a year. I've been extremely satisfied with it. I daily drive dirt roads, which are salt brined year round here in New York. So they salt brine the dirt roads in the summertime to keep the dust down, and then of course they lay the salt on by the tons in the wintertime to keep the ice away, and that completely destroys vehicles. Average vehicle life here is 10 to 15 years, and then after that it is time for the crusher, as you've seen in many videos. However, this year I am running out of time to get back up to Crown, and I am tight on schedule, so I want to be proactive still and do it myself. A lot of you guys know that I use fluid film, so I've gone ahead, I've purchased an actual fluid film, professional spray kit, and then I've bought their DIY version also. I want to show you those things to you guys. Go ahead, see how they work, get it applied. So here's the DIY kit I bought. This kit came with 3 cans of fluid film. Now these body plugs I bought myself. These are just 1/2 inch recessed body plugs in case you drill any holes. And then the main thing I was after was this little extension wand. Now it has a little brass end on it, and in the end of that brass end, I don't know if it'll focus on there or not, hopefully it is, but you can see the little nozzles cut in it, or the little orifices cut in it. It looks like there's 4 of them to create a 360-degree spray for either sticking in your doors, getting up inside the frame, and then evidently it goes right onto a can. I have no reason to believe it doesn't. I haven't tried it yet. Stick it on there. Holy crap! I think I sprayed my camera. Whoa, yeah, so that comes out with some force, baby. And I haven't shook that can yet or anything. So that's how that's gonna work. I gotta clean off my lens now. Then I'll show you the Pro kit. Well, the camera's never gonna rust. I think that kit was like 35-ish, something like that. Link in the description box, and also pinned in the comments. Now this is the bigger kit I bought. I guess they would consider it the professional kit. Now it did not come with a gallon of fluid film. I already had that. Bought it at Napper. Currently they've got it for just under $40 per gallon. And in this kit came the spray gun with 3 tanks, or 3 reservoirs, I guess. I've already gone through and filled up. They've got a pretty sweet logo. Not a sponsor, by the way. And on this gun, it comes with a tip to use as a broad sprayer, and then it comes with 2 long wands. Now this one's a 360-degree wand that has holes all the way around it, and it's, I don't know what, maybe 3 feet long, something like that. And then it comes with a shorter one here, maybe 2 feet long, that just sprays out the very end of it, little extension. It also comes with some warnings: do this, don't do that, that kind of stuff. Extra cap for the one you take off your gun, and then a brush for swabbing stuff. And that's it. That's what that comes with. This, I believe, was almost $100, 98 something, I think. Did not include the swivel on the end of the gun. Well, that's it. Instructions said, I think, run it between 60 and 80 psi, something like that. They want you to use a regulator, cover your eyes. Where is it? 40 to 90 psi. It says 75 to 85 is usually good. Uses 5 to 8 CFM. Made in Italy. It tells you how to adjust it to get the optimal spray. What I've done in preparation for my truck, I'll show you, is really not much. Went to the car wash earlier today. It's been raining for days. I just got under it the best I could, sprayed it off, brought it here, put it on the lift, took the blow nozzle and just blew all the loose junk off. I've got probably 10 pounds of dirt on the floor. Like I said, I do drive dirt roads every single day. So I tried to blow that off, any loose paint, any loose rust. I just kept doing that, just kind of left it on the lift till it dried. Took out the spare tire, set that to the side. That's pretty crusty, and that's pretty much it. I also pulled out a bunch of the body plugs, the factory body plugs. If you're not into drilling your vehicle to gain access like into your rockers, there's usually a lot of body plugs. I took out probably about 16 of them, roughly. And that'll get me up in the body and the rockers, stuff like that. My intention is to spray up inside the box sides and then use some of the holes that were already pre-drilled from the crown, for example, in the tailgate, in the A, B, and C pillar on the vehicle. So I say we just get at it. I'll do the best I can to film it for you. The process is going to be kind of loud. I am implementing safety first today. Wow. Safety glasses, earplugs, respirator. Totally not dying today. What I'll do is, I gotta turn exhaust fans on, so it's gonna be kind of loud. So you guys just sit back, enjoy some music. We'll go over the process when it's done.
that off. Take these off. Hold on, people.
Ah, mother of pearl, I got spunked right on my hat. So what happens, because perhaps you couldn't see it because I had it in 1000X, is it's going to give a nice sheen to the old G-Pat. If you plug the end of it, it has a little safety relief and it will blast back at you. Lesson learned. It's probably in the instructions. But now we know, you've seen it firsthand, that's what happens there. I need to reload, which is kind of tricky. That's not like super tricky. They do make like a rubber donger that goes over top of the can to make it easier. You go get a screwdriver. Looks like the truck's probably going to take about the full gallon. I'm probably overdoing it and spraying too much product. I initially started out with a 360 tip, and it didn't seem to spray that well. So I switched to that long straight one, and that one seemed to do pretty good. I'm going to have to go grab another gallon. Now I'm just trying to get in every little nook and cranny that I can with that sprayer and hit the, the vertical surfaces. I guess it wouldn't be vertical. The tops of the horizontal surfaces, I guess it would be, to be more correct. And then I'll use the broad sprayer, and of course I've gone up inside of all the body plugs I've taken out. I'll have to go grab another gallon. I don't know how you get the remaining product out. That's kind of, maybe just do it by hand, I guess. I need a spatula is what I need. Let's see if Mrs. O has one she can sacrifice. It's kind of oddly satisfying, isn't it? Oops. The smell of it gives me a headache, like without a respirator, which is probably stupid, but even just fluid film in a can, if I use too much of it, it just kind of gives me a headache. Let's see. I think that's about all I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to finish up with the long tube, getting up inside of everything. It seems to be covering really well. I'm super satisfied with it. I'm trying not to get it all over the exhaust and brakes for obvious reasons. And then I'm going to hook up the broad sprayer and give her full beans. Done with the broadcast spray. Let's have a gander underneath it. I have done gone and soaked for everything. We made it rain and it seemed to apply very nicely. It's probably very difficult to pick up on camera. It's so dark under here. We'll give it a little walk through. It's because sometimes this stuff looks dry, but it's actually nice and soaked. Shiny. Knowing what I know now that I've used their spray gun, I guess in the words of Cher, if I could turn back time, what I would do is start with the broad sprayer first, because that really hammers out of that thing pretty well. Perhaps I had my air pressure a tad on the high side, but it really seems to make really good coverage with that initially, and then I would probably go back and get the tops of the horizontal surfaces and areas like up inside the box side here, things like that with the wand, and perhaps that would save some time. That's pretty much all I can say. The 360 degree sprayer didn't really work that good for me. I tried it initially. I think I might not have had enough air pressure for it, perhaps, or didn't have it cranked up enough. It just kind of seemed to not work. Made only a small mess on the floor. You can see kind of the dark spot. Not that dark spot, that's water dripping out of my box still. but kind of the dark spot where the stuff landed on the ground. I went over there by my computer. It's not, doesn't really seem to be on my toolbox. I just had the barn fan there set up by the door and blowing it outside. That's my dirt pile from my initial blow that I gave it. I don't know what else to say under here. This truck is equipped with lots of body plugs, and you can see, like, you know, that it had that one there out, had that one there out. There's multiple ones up under here. I had them out. I was able to get up in there really good. Had the one here in the back of the cab corners out on both sides, and that seemed to work really well. And of course, being a half box frame, I was able to get way up inside the frame, you know, up inside of all the cross members. Super happy. So I did burn up an entire gallon. This gallon is pretty much kicked. There is some in there we could, if we had a brush or a spatula, we could get out some more. So I'm gonna kind of hang on to that till I get one of those two items. I don't see any sense in really, you know, tearing this all apart to clean it up. I'm never gonna use it for anything else other than fluid film. So I'm just gonna keep it in the box. Again, there is a link in the description if you're interested in this. Ended up running at 80 PSI. After I made adjustment, 80 PSI static. That's without the trigger squeeze. And that was through a 3/8 hose. So if anybody's curious, what I want to do now is I went through with a can and did a little touch up on some stuff. I saw a mist. If you can believe I actually missed some, you can, because I just go around willy-nilly. We're going to use the DIY thing here. Careful, push it. There we go. She's all hooked up. We'll do this in the tailgate. We'll stick that in there, do some spray in there, and see how that works. Well, I will say this, it is all over the outside of my truck. There's like a thin film on it all over the glass and everything, which I guess is to be expected. We'll pull out this body plug here, goes in the bottom of the tailgate. The old rattle can. Whoa, fella. One thing I would say, the top doesn't really seem to fit the can super well. Kind of wobbly on there. Of course, I'll give it a good push here in a minute, but so we're just going to take and stick that right in the gate. Get her all the way down in there. Where does it bend? And we're just going to give her a full douche. Whoa! Kind of flick it around up in there. Wow, man! Dang it all! Pulled out too soon. Made a mess. Oh well. Better than rust, I guess. Gotta go to the car wash anyways, go do the other side. I guess I could go into the latch hole. I'll get that all over in there. Well, it does come out of there pretty violently. Kind of smoking on this side of the tailgate still, so it must atomize quite well. That's a big word. I think it just snapped on a little better. Man, can you guys see how that thing sprays? Watch this. It's pretty awesome. I'm blasting out everything. Man, that empties a can pretty quick, I'll tell you that much. Now my truck, the bottoms of the doors, that even in the frame, have been drilled. It has also been drilled in the A pillar, the B pillar, and the C pillar. We could pop those plugs out, also use this little sprayer one. I'm hesitant to use it in the door because I've had the inside of the doors spray with Crown, which is quite a bit of a lighter product. I think it flows a little better. I'm gonna get a can of that to do inside my doors. I don't want my drains to plug up and have the doors fill with water, but I am going to do inside the pillars. Just about get this in. yeah, that does it for this can. I'm gonna go ahead and hit up the rest of the holes in the truck. Like I said, I've got them in the back also. Replace the plugs. We'll be good to go. All right, folks, I think that's gonna do it for me. I've got to hit the car wash now. Do not turn on your windshield wipers until you get it washed off. There's like a fog over top of everything, so I'm sure it's probably on everything in the shop too. The DIY kit, I guess, the extended straw there on the can works fantastic. It puts out a huge spray, big mist. Excellent for getting into panels or if you're using it upside the frame. The thing I will say though, those 3 cans that it comes with will not last long. I believe you can buy that nozzle separate. I'm not sure. The kit I bought came with the 3 cans. I would say if I were to predict and I was going to do this at home, let's say, you know, we're going to jack the car up on jack stands, high as you can get it safely, get it cleaned off, blown off, ready to go with cans, I would buy a whole case from Fluid Film. And that should do the whole car, I would imagine. If you're not keen on drilling holes, you know, using a step drill and putting body plugs in, most cars that I've seen have a ton of access points that you can get to. And sometimes, let's say it doesn't, but there's, you know, a bolt and a door hinge there or something, you can take it out and, you know, usually they're open holes and you can just, you know, go right down inside that way. So a lot of ideas there. If you don't know where to drill holes, don't. You definitely don't want to go poking a hole in somewhere that you shouldn't. And I guess that's it. We'll see how it holds up. I'm glad I got it done when I got it done. Deer season's coming. I'm out of time. And I'm out of time for this video. You guys go down there in the comment box. Leave your questions, comments, criticisms, and concerns. While you're down there, subscribe, ring the bell, all that stuff. And just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.